Think we'd go.
Here we go.
Oh, hey, and we go.
All right.
Oh.
Hey, how's it going now, everybody? We're live on the Unfamous Podcast, episode 12. We're back in the summer. It's August. So here we go.
Whoa.
You're smoking something. What's going on?
It's been a while.
When was the last time? Probably like April.
It's like just after the. It was after the
Dallas.
Was it? No, we did one after the playoffs. I think.
No.
What? No.
We only did Dallas. Like I looked at the last description. It was saying Oilers taking Dallas to the Western Conference Final. What's gonna happen? Let's fucking go, boys. That's basically what it was.
Oh shit! I thought we talked about that.
And then everybody did everything else for the summer because it was both stressful, exciting, exhilarating, and a letdown all at the same time.
It's still depressing when I think about how close it was.
And I don't have to name my firstborn Connor.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that? I was gonna I wagered against the universe that if the Oilers somehow did the reverse sweep, I would name my firstborn child Connor.
Oh, apparently the universe didn't want another Connor.
Connor Brown, Connor McDavid, Connor McGregor.
There's too many Connors.
That's what I mean, like elite athletes, so named Connor.
It's true. It's a good name.
Julia didn't have anything positive to say about that decision, but obviously the tarot cards had other plans.
Maybe she did some trickery to make.
Yeah, maybe she wagered against me, and the universe likes her more.
It's just her fault.
She's just like got out the Ouija board, talked to the spirits.
Black magic from the closet.
Yeah, exactly. Cast a spell, and killed my fucking dream. The reverse sweep would have been the coolest thing that's ever happened in sports. It honestly would have. Like, I don't even care who you are. That's professional sports that doesn't happen ever. It happened once when the other, like, didn't the Toronto Maple Leafs, their opponent had to go to war?
It was a long time ago.
It was like World War II, and they half the team died on the front lines or something.
I don't know. It was something ridiculous. It was old. It was a long time ago, and I think there was only like the 6 teams or whatever.
But not even to be that close, but one goddamn goal. And your top line looked like, I hate to drag this up again, but man, they looked deflated. They were about as deflated as everyone else looked after the game. They just had nothing.
It looked weird, man.
It's like they put diesel in the gas tank.
I don't understand why that happens. And it's not like the Panthers didn't even look that great. Like
Reinhart gets a random shot and that's the winner. Fucking hell.
Like, of course, right? I don't know. I don't want to like dwell on that one too much. Because we're on to.
But that's in my brain, man. That shot of Reinhart from that camera angle in that stupid ass arena. And it's just like he just pops a little snapshot.
See, I've been able to stay pretty ignorant. But now that you're making me think about it, I don't like it. Well, and you can't even blame Skinner. Like, you can't even blame him on that. Like,
no, it was Kulak who
he didn't
for some reason double teamed the open guy and didn't take Reinhart.
Fucking rigged, man. It's rigged.
Why would you double team the open guy?
Well, don't you know that's what they teach you?
But it's funny because it was literally a game of 2 mistakes, and the Panthers didn't make that second one after they scored, and they would never do that.
They weren't even playing that good. Like, it's not like the Panthers were like, oh, like they're playing so good. Like, there's no way.
They're good at playing that stupid like defensive shutdown, chip it out. Like they basically just pressure the puck and then chip. They are good at that. And agreed, you can still exploit that, but like you've it's like playing the odds, right? Like you've reduced your odds to under 5%.
Yeah.
And the Oilers just didn't have that extra push. Like they were double shifting. They were washed up at that point. It just seemed like they had everything in the tank to get it to Game 7 and left nothing for Game 7.
I don't buy that. I'm like,
But
you
this
know,
last two periods were kind of nothing, man. Like they were just
I know,
farts in
but
the
like,
wind.
I don't buy that there's nothing left in the tank. Like, I'm sorry, but you're getting 5-star treatment. You get everything you want and need. You have doctors and people giving you whatever vitamins you need, whatever liquids, whatever you want to call it. You you can't even say like the flight. It's like it's a private flight. You eat whatever you want on it. You're taken care of. You stay in the hotels. That's perfect. Like nothing is out of place. Like in your entire life is surrounded preparing for this moment. And I'm like, I don't buy the whole there's got no gas left in the tank. Yeah, like no gas left in the tank if you're playing like you know bantam freaking rec league. Yeah, if you play 2 games in a weekend, you're going to be bagged. But like these guys, this is what they do. This is their job. This is their only job. So I don't. I hate that argument.
But I wonder if it just like because obviously everyone says that hockey's between the ears, like 95% of the games between the ears, and like if the Panthers get up on you in Game 7, and they are the guys who lost 9-2 last year against the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Final. Perhaps you, as the Oilers, you're like, ah, fuck, like these guys are on lock, right? Like, what are we gonna do? And then if your depth, I mean, the depth was there for the rest of the series for sure. But if everybody's kind of like deer in the headlights looking for McDavid and Draisaitl, who knows what he was like? Have they even released what he was injured with? Like he obviously was fucking injured. His hand was fucked. His
It
rib.
wasn't.
No, McDavid's
Yeah, I
rib
don't
was
think it
fucked, wasn't it?
was. Yeah, I don't think they were like super specific with it. Um, I think he had a broken finger at one point, and yeah, I think it was like a rib or something. Which I get. Like playing through that stuff is tough, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, but that was the only thing. Now that I remember, what really bugged me is how much he didn't play the guys that got him there. Like he wasn't playing like the guys who should have
Knobloch?
more. Yeah, he wasn't playing like the guys who should have more energy because they weren't playing 30 minutes before. Like keep rolling lines. Like rolling lines is what you got you there. Triple shift in McDavid's not going to finish the job. Like I'm sorry, but
Well,
these other
if you see
guys.
McDavid getting tired and you're like fucking 6 line Corey Perry, you're like, what am I gonna do that guy's not doing?
Well,
Like
exactly.
the thing's fucking gone.
Which is why I'm like play the other guys.
But I mean, Knobloch wasn't that bad. Like it's
No, he was
impossible to
fine.
make the right decisions all the time. But like, fuck, like why make the wrong decision in Game 7? I don't understand.
I'm just like the way we beat them before was rolling lines. That's how you know you're gonna beat them. And like maybe it won't work for like 3 or 4 shifts or even a period. But his whole thing was always like staying the course. Like, yeah.
But just like grip, fucking bear down for one game, then hit the links. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah,
This
we
is
can move on.
like Oilers fans 06, 2024. It's all the same shit. Losing in Game 7. Sure. I guess you get used to it. Maybe it's a fucking tattoo now. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a fucking scar. Call the police. You're not going to get your money back. But
It was tough.
at least I didn't buy a Holloway jersey. That's all I'm thinking now.
Oh man,
He had jerseys on sale. They were on sale.
that whole thing, man, I fucking hate it. Like
Why? Let me
I've said
explain.
it before. Okay. So my whole thing, and I've been like wanting to say this so many times, but I don't have anybody to talk to because Lydia doesn't care about it. But I'm like, okay, I get that money is shiny. Like I get it. Like someone's coming offering you a whole bunch of money. It's hard to say no. I get it. Like, okay, but Broberg contract is fucking mental. Like that thing
There is no way he's worth over 4. There's for sure no way.
No,
but like I can see if I was offered 4, I'd probably take it too.
If he plays like he did in the Stanley Cup playoffs for an entire season, yeah, totally, he's worth 4 for sure. but there's no guarantee on that. And I just think they made the dumbest mistake of their lives. Like, I think
The
they're both
players or the Oilers org?
the players. I think they're both kicking themselves. Like, I didn't watch the full, the St. Louis, they had, a little intro with them, and they had them on Zoom or whatever talking about, like, oh, what do you, welcome to the team kind of thing. They're just like their press conference. And both of them looked fucking not happy. like,
Really?
like
I didn't see that.
Holloway looked just, he looked bummed. Broberg looked bummed. Like, I think they honestly thought
They went with their agent and they thought they would get matched.
Yep. I think the agents made them believe that they would be matched and stay in Edmonton. I think that.
But didn't they know they hadn't signed fucking Bouchard or Draisaitl at that point? Like you got an offer sheet before they were signing their solid stars they were going with the whole time, ride or die, and then you thought you could sweep them out? Like, fuck.
I think the agents sweet talked him into thinking that the Oilers would for sure match, or at least they don't have the same agent, I don't think. So I don't know if it was like they'll match one of you, so it's probably going to be one of you guys. Like, it'll work out for one of you, something like that. I don't know, but like, I think they're both kicking themselves right now. Like, Broberg said, like, and his English isn't like perfect, so it's hard to tell if he's just not great at articulating it. But he said, like, oh, I'm super excited to be a Blue. Like, he said it like 4 or 5 times in a row. And usually when someone's talking like that, it's kind of just like,
yeah, I love her a lot.
I'm super excited. Like,
she's my life soulmate. I will not divorce her in 1 year. Like,
oh man, and like Broberg Holloway looked the most bummed. I think Broberg just has like a resting bitch face a little bit. But
Broberg's been bent over by the Oilers. I can't honestly blame him. They it's like empty promises, empty promises, empty promises.
I get it, but at the same time, you just started playing with a new coach, a new manager,
and you got like premium spotlight.
They trusted you in the playoffs. Yeah. You knew they were going to rely on you quite heavily for the season. Like, you were slotted in as probably a top 4D, and you were probably out there playing with Nurse or whatever, Kulak. You knew that. Like, you knew that the regime now was going to probably play you more. And I think they showed that during the regular season, giving Holloway a lot more time. It wasn't like before. It wasn't like bring you up and play you for 3 minutes kind of thing. They should have known it was going to be different. So,
well, like looking at like Philip Broberg's place time, like he's got to be seeing like that second pairing is open for the taking. Like, why wouldn't you think that you were going to be there? Because like no one really has that unlocked. Yeah, like that's yours, man. Take that.
I honestly thought they were going to match on Broberg because a D-man is like that is way harder to replace than Holloway. Like, I'm sorry, Holloway's great.
Bowman's a fucking retard.
I don't know if he is.
But what are they going to do, man? Matt Savoy is probably a good replacement for Dylan Holloway, but who's going to replace Broberg's potential? Like, what do? We draft these guys, spend all our time developing them, and then trade them for nothing? We got, like a third-round draft pick? Come on.
But they didn't have it. All they had was what St. Louis made them have. It's not like they could negotiate down to 3. It's not like they could say, like, well, we'll give you 3. Like, we'll do something like that. Like, 4-8 or
you have to match it.
4-5 is fucking stupid. Not only
Darnell Nurse's is the worst.
Oh man.
Like, the Oilers just get scooped on contracts, or they pass up on like moderately expensive ones that would probably be worth it. But maybe Broberg is like a Darnell Nurse. Who knows? Like, maybe he shows flashes of brilliance, and then like the next year after he gets his money, he's a sandbag. I don't know.
It's true, and that's kind of the thing, right? Like, he could go to St. Louis and completely shit the bed. Like, he could. Which I'm kind of selfishly hoping for, because I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, these two guys, I get it, but like, okay,
they're not in our conference, so I don't really
they're
care.
Both young players. And like a lot of people were making the argument, like, well, this might be like the only time they get like a big chance like that. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? These guys are both young. they only have not even really had a full year. I think Holloway Broberg played one more game than a full season combined from all the times he's played. And I'm like, you literally have your best chance of winning a cup. Take your 1 million, which is more than pretty much everybody makes in like 10 years.
Well, who's the defenseman that we picked up in his place?
I haven't looked at him too much, but I've heard that like he seems like a pretty good fit. That
At the
what's his
right
name?
price, though.
Yeah, right price. He seems like a good fit. He's a young guy. The
And
style
Stetcher
of
should be
play,
coming back.
Stetcher should be coming back. We haven't seen too much of him.
What, he played like
So
3 games?
it's hard to read what he's like. I mean, I think we're okay on D. I would have liked to kept Broberg because I think his style of play is just it's really hard to find.
It's always been though, like defense, like if they like. So the main problem was always Darnell Nurse and CC. So CC's obviously gone. So who plays with Darnell? I would have liked to see something radical, like put Darnell on forward and fucking just put his cap hit on there, and then like load up your D and like trade out some bottom
Oh.
6 dude. But like honestly, the Oilers roster is not that bad. And the good thing is that I think that everybody who is there now, for the most part, you could confidently say wants to be there.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the silver lining. That was the other point I was going to make. Is like, okay, let's say that Bowman decides to match him. Okay, now you have 2 guys who the whole team knows kind of strong arm their way into these ridiculous contracts. I mean, Holloway, is
Well,
not.
Darnell's been doing that this whole time, and he's never had a problem.
Well, yeah, I mean that is that's a sideshow on its own. But
There's no way anyone on the team is like, yeah, Darnell, you're worth 9.
No, but like they'd have to come back into that room knowing what they've done to hinder going down the road. And CC would have had to been moved out regardless to make it happen.
What did they get for CC? Because I don't. Was it like anything quite good, or
it was the D man
prospects?
It was the D man. It was the.
But CC was making. He was making 4, and I think we got Buddy at like 1.
like
Nothing retained.
I think he was like 900.
What?
Yeah, I think that guy's like 900.
But that's what they needed to do, was clear up cap space.
The only
they got to
like
pay
the Holloway and Broberg thing is that's the last of our first round picks gone off the team. Like we don't have any of the first round picks from the past like 5 years on our team anymore.
Well, that's what everyone was saying. Is like the Ken Holland era is fucked. It's gone. There's nothing from him.
Which
is
like I'm okay
maybe
if like the picks actually didn't work out, but like to have
they
it
were the
happen
2 guys
like
that could have.
Be so it just felt so fucking personal. Like it just
fuck the Blues. Maybe we end up playing them in the playoffs, and we just
I hope them. Every time we play them, we fucking kill them. And I know that going into those games, the team will want that. Like, fuck these guys.
The main question I still think is always going to be there is like, is the Skinner Pickard tandem going to be that solution for the dub?
It got us there. It got us to Game 7.
It's true, and like this is the other thing is like
Skinner's
streaky.
First full year.
Skinner's streaky, so like if you can
for a 16-game win streak.
But if you can put him in when he's not doing well, like the thing that the head coach and the staff needs to understand is when Skinner's on his fucking sieve streak, put in Pickard, because that guy is always gonna be a 2 to 3 goal a game guy. Like that's has he ever been scored on more than that? I don't think so. Not as an Oiler.
Dude, I fucking love Calvin Pickard.
And like we got him for a fucking dime.
He's cheap.
He's like a mil, isn't he? Like $1.5 million.
Reliable. He seems like a gem of a guy to have in the room. He's not sitting there complaining. He knows his role in his job, and he does it extremely well. Like, I think that tandem is awesome. I think Stu, last year was like his first full year in the NHL, and I think he did awesome. And I hope that like what he did over that last season really shuts people up, because like every game it was still like oh, what's Skinner doing? Like, it was just a thing all the
He
time. And it's like,
lets
I don't
in
want it to be a thing.
soft goals, but every tender does. Look at Bobrovsky, man. Like that guy got fucking lit up.
Oh,
Every tender has their night when they let in soft
and
goals.
Bobrovsky was like the best. Like, he was like, oh, Arrow's the best goalie. He's like, okay, but he also let in what was it, 8 goals that one game? Skinner didn't do that
But
all playoffs.
Skinner is he's a way different style that is susceptible to like if they figure you out, they got you. That's the problem because he's pretty square in the net. He's very technical. Like he's doing everything that's like very
But
standard,
it
but he's
still
not
worked because like
dynamically reacting.
when he let in 2 or 3 goals, that was generally where it stopped. It was not very often that it was like a 4, 5, 6 goal blowout. So like I think that's great. Skinner, I think, is just going to keep getting better. Pickard was awesome. I think the new guys you brought in are going to be good. They want to be there. And I don't care how much money you would throw at people. The want to be there is much more important.
Well, Arvidsson and obviously Jeff Skinner are going to be interesting wild cards because like I think that those guys both have baggage with them. Jeff Skinner is always going to have a chip on his shoulder that he, like he's kind of this star player underdog that's like kind of an accessory piece. He's obviously on a 1-year contract, so like I don't know, he's going to be interesting to see, but I mean Matt Savoy will probably take Dylan Holloway's role,
But it sounds like
honestly.
that's a good fit too. Like, well, and
Well,
even that
Savoy
guy
might
that
be
they,
like that guy that's just like, wow, holy shit! Like, thank God we put him in the lineup. Like,
yeah.
he also could be a bust too. So there's a lot of like question marks around some of these players, and even the
But
senior
even
players, you have those.
what's his name? The other guy that we have, Lavoie.
No
Like, it is
Savoy.
his time to come up. No, Lavoie, the other
Who's
guy.
who's Lavoie? I'm
We
looking
brought
at
him
the
up a little bit
roster.
last year. Lavoie, he's on Bakersfield. He's kind of been like in the works, and he came up for a little bit last year. And I think they'll probably bring him up before Savoy, just because I think he's more along the lines. But the guy they got from Vancouver, he was a first round draft pick. He was picked 10th overall. It didn't really
Deneen?
work out. No, Lavoie.
No, but is it Deneen, the guy from Vancouver?
It doesn't sound right. It was like I think his last name started with a P. They got him in a trade.
I'm just looking at the Oilers roster on like a
But
Google search.
it didn't work out for him in Vancouver because Rick Tocchet, I just don't think he meshed with what they were trying to do. But he's a high pick, as much as that has any gravitas. I mean, after a few years and you're not living up to being a first round pick, I mean, you're kind of, maybe you weren't supposed to be a first round pick. But I mean, we still have a lot of guys in the wind. A lot of guys who can come up. Boakey is still a very highly touted defenseman. I think we're okay. Like, I'm not I'm not too concerned. I just don't like what they did. And I think the Oilers didn't like what they did, that they chose, and I get the money thing, but it's like, just think, if you signed 1.2 and 1.5 mil for 2 years, and in those 2 years you win a cup, you will have Stanley Cup winning pedigree on your resume for the rest of your career. And I don't care how good you are. Look what we got. What's his name? The defenseman from Chicago. What was his name?
Keith?
Yeah,
Duncan Keith?
Duncan Keith. So we got him, and he was like late years of his career. He wasn't that great, but he had that pedigree, and he still demanded a certain amount of respect and money because of that. Look at Perry. He's fucking almost, what, 40? He is 40, isn't he? He's like
He was
39 or
yeah.
something. And he's still commanding $1.4 million to play. And I'm like, you win a cup? He's only won once. You win a cup And that follows you forever. I don't care if you have a bad year. You're still, when you're being talked about in a trade or something like that, it's still always there. But if you go to fucking St. Louis for $4.8 million, do okay, and then have no cups or anything, maybe you just sign for another four. Like, I think it was a very stupid idea on their part.
But I mean, like the Oilers still have depth. Like I'm looking at some proposed Oilers roster for 24-25. So like the first line is RNH, McDavid, and Hyman, Jeff Skinner, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson, which is kind of an interesting combo. And then you have like that absolute Gucci line of Janmark, Henrique, and Brown.
I am so excited to see that line again, man.
And then you have obviously Kane. I think will take the fucking L and go on LTIR. And Derek Ryan and Perry is what's proposed here, but I don't really think that's going to be the case. Perry's not going to be like an active right wing guy, and like Savoy, if he can play a wing, get the guy in there, like fucking
let him play, man.
Because everyone else underneath this, like that's actually on the roster, is probably going to go to Bakersfield. Like they have Jarventi, Stefan, Stonehouse. I don't even know who these people are. Philip.
I know Jarventi is a big thing.
Jarventi.
Phelp, I think, is another defenseman.
Philp is a centerman, apparently.
I think there's Kemp. I think Kemp is one of our defensemen coming up.
Yeah, like these names like Kajula, Hamblin, and Petrov and Griffith are all like AHL dudes going into the old defenseman goaltenders combination. We have Ekholm and Bouchard.
What's his name on Rodrigue? Like that guy is still like goaltending wise, we're fine. Like I think people forget that we are fine.
But Dalia, Rodrigue, and Unger are all like backups to the backups. Like like who Dalia, Rodrigue, and Ungar, whatever they are, like they're not going to be tested.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Rodrigue is up for chunks of the season.
Honestly, they should get a lot of people out there in October and November. Like like whatever, man. We fucking rid off the first part of last year and we still ended up okay. Like might as well just send it,
Well, I mean, preseason they'll be up for sure. Like I'm pretty sure Rodrigue will probably play like most of the preseason games. I wouldn't be surprised. Rodrigue and Pickard probably.
When did those start? Isn't that like since late September?
Something like that, yeah. I think it's 50 days. 50 days until start of the season.
We should get some tickets to some preseason. Get some sliders and some fucking Bloody Marys. Or no, Caesars. I'm
so excited because like last year was like the first year that I pretty much watched like every game.
Yeah, we should split a Sportsnet thing unless you already have one.
I just have it through. I just watch it on Telus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I have cable.
Okay.
But no, I'm excited for this year.
I think Emberson, that's who it is.
That's what I said.
Nurse and Emberson, that's the Vancouver guy. So they think that Nurse is going to be paired with Emberson.
Emberson is from San Jose. That's who we traded for.
For Cece.
Yeah.
And then Kulak and Stetcher.
Yeah.
So our defensive core is
I think it's
50% okay. New.
No, a little less than that.
Well, Stetcher, I would consider new, and obviously, Kulak.
It's like 60%.
I don't know.
70%.
Kulak's got some forgiveness to achieve. He still let Reinhardt shoot.
Okay, well. Anyways,
as a veteran defenseman, you look over and you're like, hey, my partner has the pass. I take the shot.
I know. Yeah.
My partner has the pass. I take the shot. His brain went, we both take the pass.
It was miscommunication. Maybe he didn't say something. Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
But as a veteran NHL defenseman, you can't do that, and it will make you pay, and they did.
The biggest thing, and even statistically, the biggest thing that is going to help us more than anything is to never, ever, 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 ever have Nurse and Cece playing together. Statistically, that helps us more than anything. Their combined stats were so bad.
But what's left though? Because the Oilers had the best power play in the previous year, and then they had the best PK last year. There's nothing left to be the best in, man. Like, what are they gonna fucking do? Just
Win.
be all round,
Fucking the best at the game and win. Like, I
dude.
think we have a chance to be, because I think the Panthers last year or the year before had the highest winning percentage or goal percentage or something like that.
Goal differential is probably what it was.
It was some percentage, and I think we definitely have the chance to be that.
You know who doesn't have a chance? Toronto. You know who doesn't have a chance? Winnipeg. You know who honestly doesn't have a chance is
Captain
Florida. Fuck
Matthews.
the fucking Panthers. They
Oh,
don't get to do a repeat. They
fuck.
are trash pandas essentially parading around like cats that look threatening, and they're
Dude,
not.
I haven't
They're a bunch
seen
of jackass fans with their fucking rat toys. Shove them up their ass. Let's
I
go.
haven't seen less people care about a team that won than them.
Yeah, like literally, you almost got ran over by traffic walking around with that Stanley Cup. Who was it?
Nobody fucking cares. The only reason people cared about like Tampa when they won is because people fucking love Stamkos, and Maroon was a fun thing. But other than that, nobody gave a shit.
They also won in like a pandemic year, dude.
Yeah,
Like Tampa
doesn't
won
count.
when no one had anything else to do. Like,
Yeah,
what were they gonna do? Watch Joe Exotic on Tiger King, or like,
and they did. They did do that.
oh man, it's frustrating as fuck that like the Panthers were somehow like, how have we been beaten by these trash ass fucking states, Carolina, and the Panthers, the
Like
fucking
not even
Panthers.
like not even quality like team states. Like not
Well, like,
Boston. Not like
that's what I don't like about Austin Hockey, man. He was always like, "Oh, the Panthers fans are so good." They're so. I'm like, yeah, you have a couple of like do-gooders on your channel posting comments, but the rest of them are absolute junk heaps, and you're just kind of neglecting the fact that like no one knows. Even like on Reddit, people are like, who are these people? And like these people like in the like posting these teary comments on the window. I've waited since 1996 for my team to win or whatever it was, and I was like, the Oilers have still waited longer than you have since their last championship. Like your team hasn't even existed as long as it's been since we had a championship. So
oh
cry me a fucking river. You have not waited a long time. You didn't even know what you were waiting for. So shut the hell up.
I know, like the whole like sob story is like we've been waiting so long for this, you know, we've been it's like, and there was even like there because on Oilers Nation they had the like locked on St. Louis persons like locked on podcast. They do like all
The
the
NHL
different teams.
sanctioned guys, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they had her on, and she went into
I
this like
watched
little
that podcast. That's kind of a dank
her little
podcast.
like snippet of you know, like, oh, you know, it's been in a couple down years for us. You know, we won the cup, and then it's been like all kind of. It's like,
Wing.
bro, do you not understand that the last time we fucking won the cup was over 30 years ago? Like,
And not to mention the
fuck
country.
you.
Not to mention the goddamn country.
That's what I mean. I'm like, you recently won the. I would give up so many things to have a cup in recent memory, and have like a couple rebuilding years. Like, fuck off.
I'm gonna have to come up with a new wager because, like, obviously the Connor thing didn't count. The universe didn't give a shit. So
Oh man,
I gotta find something else. Like, if the Oilers win the cup in 24 or 25, I will blank.
shave your head.
No, that's probably gonna happen eventually, anyways. Look at you.
I don't understand. Here's a tangent. I don't understand how people just walk around with the ring. Like, just shave it
Fire tuck.
off, man. Like, it's
No,
not.
fire tuck, baby.
It's not good ever.
Fire tuck.
Anyways, yeah, the offer
Fire
sheets were
fire
fucking
fucks.
stupid. I hated that. It felt personal. Like the first time two offer sheets have ever been tendered to the same team from the same team ever. And fucking hell.
I don't know. I think at the end of the day, they made the right call,
Yeah.
but
I think they made the only call that actually
it wasn't
makes
the
sense,
emotional call that everyone wanted.
which is good because, you know, the whole a lot of the complaints from previous years of like, oh, you're making the emotional call this, the emotional call that, and I'm like, when you actually break it down, you're like, okay, you know, they still traded out CC. and they still didn't sign Broberg because everybody kind of thought, okay, well they're trading out CC, so they're probably going to fill that. Nope, didn't sign anybody.
Broberg just isn't worth 4.5. Like
He's
maybe
not.
2 years from now he is, but like,
And just
and
the whole
also
the idea
I don't know.
of Broberg making substantially more than a defenseman that just scored the third or fourth most goals ever in the playoffs in
Like you're talking
Bouchard
about Bouchard. Well,
is
Bouchard's
like,
gonna make bank. Like he just hasn't signed his new deal
yeah,
next
but
year.
he'll
Like,
actually have proven that he's worth it.
but that's the thing, man. Like how many times, like I can't blame them either, because how many times does somebody just give you over asking? Like if you're selling your house for 500 grand and someone's like, hey man, I'll buy that for 1.2, and you're like, oh, I got to sell it to my sweetheart who said they were gonna, like, no, you're gonna take the
No, but that
1.2.
that is just such a different scenario though.
I don't know. People don't give a shit about
There's no loss
championships.
there.
Broberg doesn't want his name on the cup.
Clearly not. But what I'm saying is, like, even just, I mean, for Holloway specifically, maybe Broberg really hated it here and he didn't care about anything. Maybe he really didn't like it. But Holloway is an Alberta boy. He's playing in one of like his hometown teams. The guys love him. The fans love him. And to pull a stunt like that, when you finally play a year where you get used, you get played, you show up, you know you can sign for more later. You get to play probably a bunch of games with the second best player in Draisaitl. It just seems like just a dumb move, and I'm like,
Well, I'd say Draisaitl is the best playoff player when he's not hurt, but I haven't really seen him play not hurt.
and a lot of people made the argument like, if a competing, you're working at a job and a competitor comes along to your job and tells you, I'll give you double what you're making here now. If you really love working where you're working, and you have a chance maybe to become so much more at the company you're working for, and you like the people you're working with, you like the culture, you like the place, you like this, like, that accounts for something. And when you're making more, even on league minimum contracts, that the majority of the country, the majority of anybody makes, like, if you give someone a league minimum contract of like 900K, that's 9 years of a good wage for most people in 1 year.
But I get that though. Like you're being loyal to an organization that has no guarantees of being loyal to you. So like you got to strip that aside. And like the fans thing is a sentimental thing. Everything comes down to dollars. It really does, man. It's a fucking business. It is, and
Yeah,
every
but if
player
you're just
is a
chasing the
business operative.
dollars, you get passed
Everyone's chasing
around.
the dollars, man.
But
Don't kid yourself.
I know,
McDavid's
but
not
like,
actually here because he wants to be here. He's making
he
decent
wants. I
money. He
think
does,
he's the only guy that wants to fucking win.
but
Him and
he's
Draisaitl
also
want
like
to win.
somewhat artistic, man. Like he nobody gets to be like McDavid without being obsessive. He's obsessive about stick handling. He's obsessive about foot
Yeah,
speed. Like the guy's obsessive. So like he doesn't want to add another variable. And like if things are fine, don't shake it up. Like I get that. Like you don't want to fuck with what's working.
yeah.
But like Holloway and Broberg are different exceptions because honestly, you couldn't really say that like what they were doing was working. They were both AHL players, borderline bottom six, and somehow got up because the chips were down and there was no other
But they were
option.
just there, like they're just at the cusp, and they just threw it away.
But they didn't throw it away because they being at the cusp also got them those offer sheets. So that I guarantee you their agent was saying that like, hey man, the reason why you played so well and the reason why you were given this opportunity has put you in the position that you're getting this kind of money now. So like you either take this or never see this again potentially. Like
I know,
and
but you
at
could
the end of the
also
day, that's
take
hard to
it and
turn
then
down.
just be a plebe that is paid too much, and be a nurse that everybody hates on because you're not living up to your money.
I get it, but like, is St. Louis really that like a high pressure cooker fan base? Probably not. Like, who cares? You're gonna
But that's the
disappoint
thing
St.
too. It's
Louis?
like you're going
Kick
to a place
rocks.
that literally nobody gives a shit.
Well, they do. Like St. Louis isn't bad. They've won championships. Like
And
for
you have to
some
have
reason they're randomly
Bennington.
good.
Yeah.
They're randomly good. I don't know. Like give them props. Like, but the problem is like I don't know. Each NHL team makes like easily billions of dollars, and they're giving the salary cap is what like 90 mil or less. Like this is insane that the players are generating. The NHL is nothing without the players, and they make a fraction of the money. So like I
It's just
get
still a
that,
fuck ton of money. Like it's
but
funny when you're talking about these
you
things.
don't owe anyone anything at that point. Your
I know,
talent
but you
makes
have
this
to ask
money.
yourself, like you said, clearly they wanted the money more than winning.
I mean, I'd have a hard time saying that. Like, if you can fuck the dog and make 4 mil, or you can play as hard as you want and never get a roster space and make $100,000, I'm gonna take 4 mil. Like, I'm sorry, that's just the case, man. Like, if that's actually what's happening here, like, do they have
But
to earn their spot for a $1 million contract and they have to play their fucking guts out to even be on the roster in Edmonton, or they get instantaneous top six pairings and twice as much money in St. Louis? Like, I'm sorry, Edmonton, but like, that's honestly going to be very easy to say yes to.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm just
some
thinking
shit.
they were looking at their roster space as well because like Broberg has been tossed around. Holloway's been tossed around, not as much, but Broberg's definitely been given the rigmarole. And like now he's making probably twice as much and probably guaranteed a top six roster space. Like he both gets to play the game he loves and make more money. I can't blame the guy. Sorry, that's just a fact.
I don't know.
It
Some
sucks that
shit.
like I don't know, whatever. Don't have your name on the cup. Fuck you. Like kick rocks.
Selfishly, I hope that St. Louis fucking sucks and it doesn't work out.
It very well may be the case, but like I'm honestly like we aren't traditionally metrically statistically going to miss them. I think we still have a good lineup. I think that like I said before, like you said, everyone here wants to be here, and like I don't want people to be taking pay cuts. They should be getting paid what they're worth. The problem is you do have people getting paid more than they're worth, and you have people getting paid less than they're worth. So where does that actually fucking line up? Who knows? But at the end
Well,
of the
and part of the
day,
problem
we
is
need
that
players to play.
in the NHL you cannot renegotiate contracts, and I'm like, you
Then
should
take
be
a
able
short
to do
contract.
that.
Take a short contract.
No, I know, but like Darnell Nurse, he's not like you can't even renegotiate that. You can't even go to the player and be like, you are not living up to this. We're renegotiating your contract to be half of this because that is all you're doing. You can't do that, which unfortunately leaves a little bit of complacency. And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think Nurse was complacent. He was just error prone.
I hope he fucking works hard this year, man. Because you see spurts of it, and you see like this guy can do it, and maybe
He's
being with
fast.
somebody
He's
else,
aggressive. He just makes positionally dumb like plays. Like that's the
and
main
maybe
thing.
not playing with CC and having a chance with somebody different is really what's going to unlock it. Maybe that's I'm really hoping because like if you can have him playing at his top, and you have a first line of Ekholm, Bush, and then you have Nurse and whoever he's playing with, and then a third of Stetcher and Kulak even. But I even liked Kulak and Nurse when they were playing together sometimes. But I'm like, there's a lot of potential there, and on the forwards, there's a lot of potential there. I don't think, I don't think like, I think it was Austin Hockey. I think actually you said his headline was like the Oilers just got way worse or something like that. And I'm like, that's first of all, it's probably clickbait. Second of all, they did not get way worse. They
Like
got
maybe future prospects, but like we thought that like how many first round, what do we have? 5 first round picks and one or two have panned out. Like if you're taking even that percentage on first round picks, first round first overall picks, by the way,
yeah.
and like if you're taking that as like a 2 out of like what is that, like 2 out of 5 percentage?
It rarely works out, man.
Yeah, so like if Holloway and Broberg are supposed to be these long term saviors, and you add that percentage to them, chances are they're like one of them's going to be a bust for
And
sure.
honestly, even
And
Bedard,
an expensive bust is worse than just a bust.
even Bedard, I think, will kind of wither into being a decent player. He's not.
He's too small.
He's too fucking small.
He's
If you look
honestly
at
small.
Crosby, you look at even Matthews, you look at McDavid, you look at Jonathan Taves, like all these guys,
They're
they
huge.
and they could bulk up. Like when Crosby started, he was a pretty scrawny kid, but he
He was
fucking
18 though.
bulked up, and he's fucking huge now.
But like Bedard's honestly like
He's
what, like a good
just
6 inches smaller than Crosby
he's
even? Like
too
I don't know.
small. He's too small.
And like a release only does so much if you're not getting your clock cleaned like instantly. And the problem with being a star player in the NHL is all you need is some fucking 20 IQ defenseman to like shadow you and absolutely drill you every time you touch the puck. And like you're completely out of the play because they don't have to be a good player and they don't even care if they get a penalty. Like who cares? You put like some absolute Neanderthal in the box, nobody
Yeah,
cares.
nope. And that might have been their only job up.
That's what I mean, man. Like the NHL is weird like that. Like to be a star player, you have to, and this is why McDavid is honestly like a god amongst men, is because he can survive being shadowed, like double teamed, still make a play and not get injured, and also like obviously they kind of gave him. I think they gave him a lot of penalties for like things that they were not giving other people. Just because they're like, oh well, it's McDavid and he can't just get
You
away
can't get
with
away
it.
with it because he's a
He can't
star.
just keep getting away with it. Like the Jesse Pinkerman, like
Yeah, yeah.
fucking like crying over it. Like that's honestly the refs. Like
I don't know, but I mean, like some nights McDavid was like our biggest hitter.
I know, but that's because he has the frame, he has the speed, the strength, skill, heads up. Like that's what I love. I love hockey because it is not a single facet game. Like if you're gonna play football, everyone has their role and they don't really stray outside of
They
that.
don't
And like
deviate. Yeah,
like
it's like
that's the
I
thing, man.
run
Like
this route. I run this route.
yeah, I'm good at grabbing a ball out of the air. I'm good at running in a straight line. I'm good at taking hits. Like
Yeah,
I'm good at throwing a ball. Like sweet man, like Tom Brady, you're so fucking good, man. You're so fucking good. Everyone in America loves you. You do the same thing really well.
yeah,
Try doing that in a multiple different ways at 3 times the speed that you're doing it.
and then have to back check and play defense.
Yeah, like also play the thing that you blame everyone else on your team for not doing. Like,
Yeah,
sweet man, you're
yeah.
my fucking hero.
No, it's a
Holy
very
shit.
fluid game. It's a very fluid game.
Well, it takes like team participation in offense, defense, mental infractions, like everything, man. You only have 60 minutes, 60 goddamn minutes to do anything worthwhile. And anything you do that's not worthwhile or even negative will be magnified times 1,000, and everything you do that's absolutely stunning will also be magnified.
Man, it's honestly the best sport. I don't know why it's not bigger than it is.
Well, I don't want it to be, man, because you get more money and it just gets corrupt. Like
What do
keep
you
it
mean
pure as long as
more
it can.
gambling ads?
Can there be more gambling ads?
Did you hear that thing about why Jeff Merrick was let go?
I don't even know who that is.
32 Thoughts podcast. Jeff Merrick,
Oh,
Elliot Friedman.
I only knew Elliot from that one.
Well, he's the other guy. So Jeff Merrick's the other guy. He's been on Sportsnet forever, and apparently he was let go or whatever because during the draft, supposedly he was letting other people know of upcoming like drafts. So like someone would let him know like, oh, this guy's gonna get taken, 13th or whatever. And I guess he like maybe passed that information to somebody. I think that's what got him canned because he just like disappeared.
Is he dead?
Yeah, nobody's heard
He's
from
like
him.
floating in a river somewhere. Like fuck.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like the NHL didn't like that, and
Well, I mean, cap friendly got like appropriated or whatever the hell.
I
Like,
know by the Washington Capitals. I'm like, how can that
well,
be?
the only thing that made I bet you the NHL gave the Washington Capitals money to do that because their name was Capitals, so like it kind of made sense. The NHL definitely wanted that gone. It wasn't just the
Well,
Capitals.
especially because they came out with like all their own like NHL Edge and like all their stats tracking and stuff.
but it wasn't cap tracking.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
like another one's gonna pop up. Like anybody who's smart and can write stuff. Like there's what's the other one? There's Cat
Puckpedia.
Friendly, and then Puckpedia is now doing a lot of that. And I'm like, anybody can do this. Like it's not rocket
Well, you need
science.
like a decent UI, but like if I was them, I would have sold the site, but I also maybe would have leaked my core code or whatever, like my source code. I would have.
Told an
Whoops.
Elon,
I guess it's now free. Whoops.
I'm sharing the patent.
I guess the patent's free. Build it if you can, China.
Yeah, honestly.
Anyways, man, I think we're at time, but we
Yeah,
do need
I think that's the only
to.
topic we're gonna hit.
Yeah, I mean, NHL's got a lot going on. Hopefully, a lot more going on, and hopefully, we have enough worthwhile opinions on it that it carries. But
I think we can squeeze another hour out of something like that.
yeah, but we got lots of stuff we can talk about. We got a crazy amount of stuff. Lots of beer, lots of beer to drink, lots of hoot to hoot,
Oh
and
yeah.
conversations to converse on. But Always Tired has some big events coming up in September, so maybe get it in while the going gets good is the only thing we have here. So,
Oh yeah.
well, I can hear the water running down your pipes from your mic.
Sorry, that would be the bath that Lydia's taking.
Yeah, but you need to maybe have some background sound censoring, or maybe you put a fucking wind tube on your mic, little condom, whatever this is.
It's like right here.
Because I can do this, and then if you put this on, you need a little sock for that thing.
How's that? Is that better?
I can still hear the water.
Oh, well,
That thing, like, how is it picking up so much background noise?
I don't know. It's like right there.
You need to get some ABS, or what is it? Acoustic seal, Roxol. That's what it is.
Well,
Get some Roxol panels and throw them up there on the pipe
I mean, I insulated like this part
with acoustic seal or whatever, Roxol.
Insulation, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't Roxol like the sound dampening champ?
It's just a good insulation. Yeah, it's just a different insulation.
It's more expensive. It has like a higher R value and more acoustic dampening, doesn't it?
Yep. You get less.
Should get hey Roxol, if you want to sponsor the podcast.
That's the pipe right there.
So that's you could put up some sound dampening on that sucker so you wouldn't hear that shit.
I mean, it's like right on the main main beam though.
No, but even just any kind of like even some fucking OBS with some foam on the inside.
I'll just tell Lydia not to fucking drain the tub until I'm done.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, you could put like one of the splatter shields on, like on the top of the mic. Maybe that would help. Or maybe you just need to be a sound studio, some foam.
Yeah, maybe I just need to make a whole new studio.
Well, once we get going, maybe who knows, man? The sky's the ceiling, or the drainage pipe is the ceiling.
Yeah, that's kind of an inconvenient spot right there.
I mean, we're both in the basement, but man, we're going places. Kind of.
Mine's semi-finished. Mine's not so bad, actually. I got carpet now. Carpet. Flooring. There's flooring.
All I'm seeing is your fucking thighs. Oh my. Oh my god.
Forgot we were still recording. Maybe they'll get more hits.
Clip this.
Yeah. Check those thighs out.
That's uncomfortable.
It is. Anyways. Almost an hour.
Free Palestine, baby. From Hamas.
Wow, we're just throwing that out at the end? Jeez.
No, that's a new catchphrase now, is like Free Palestine from Hamas. And everyone's like, I can't really be against that. I can't be for it. Fuck Israel, I guess. I don't know. And their brain just blows up.
Like my lights, though? You didn't say anything about my lights. Look at that.
Yeah, man. Hopefully you got that tied up to the fucking goal horn on the Oilers games. Me, 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 me. It's like a little ham horn.
Goes the sound, yeah.
Would you get that off of Amazon or fucking Temu?
Home Depot.
Not be fucking Temu.
But I should have got it from Amazon because I could have got 100 feet for less price from the same brand. So I don't know what kind of game.
Just don't get it from fucking Temu. Fuck.
I don't get anything from Temu, but Home Depot I frequent quite often.
Temu is holy. You're doing like AM radio here, bud.
Their return policy is really good.
Got to be original packaging with the original receipt.
No, actually, they're pretty loose on that. And because I have Pro Extra, I don't even need a receipt. It all stays in my account.
Well, that's an unnecessary plug for Home Depot, but thank you for that.
Really great.
Thank you for that. That was
welcome.
Great. That was fucking amazing.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that.
All right.
Okay.
It's another Unfamous Podcast. Thanks, everyone.
3, 2, 1.
Go.
Oh, right. The outro, the intro music. The intro, outro.